Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Now, I want to talk to you today about something, and I've touched on this before. His character means everything, and allowing his character to be his currency. Now, allow his character to be his currency. And the reason why I created that little phrase was as I was touring and I saw that one of the main things that meant a lot to women is a man earning a good living, a man having a stable job or steady income and being able to provide and provide well. So when I say provide well, I would hear a lot of times like women saying, I don't want to be paycheck to paycheck with this man. If I want to take a vacation, we need to be able to afford that 3,000, that 5,000, that 7,000. If I just want to go get a new bag, go get some new clothes, or the kids need something spontaneous, or just want to do something spontaneous, we need to be able to go and do that and not have to, rob Peter to pay Paul, or let's wait 2 months and let's budget, let's put it on the budget sheet. So there's a lot of women that had an issue with budget. And I see it, I see it all around, up and down. Now you have a lot of women who they speak the word budget. They understand budget and frugal and saving and penny pinching, couponing, whatever it may be. But today, I was listening to a new album that came out, and I listen to all the albums of the secular artists that come out if it like makes a lot of noise. Like if it's trending on Twitter, I'll listen to it because I got Apple Music, so I could just listen to it without paying for it because I'm already paying that monthly fee on Apple Music. And I listen to City Girls and to see what the next generation, what they being taught. And I realize it's messages like that that's making women, even grown women, because I saw it trending on Twitter. And it was a lot of grown women, like women who listen to City Girls, follow me on Twitter, on YouTube. And what people don't understand is just how the subconscious mind works. You're not listening to that and going about your day as if you never listened to it. No, it changes you. It changed the way you look at men. So it was a song on there that was saying something about broke ends, the N word. And just basically saying broke ends don't deserve no love making, but using much more vulgar terms. And just every song was about a woman using her body to get money from a man and men spending money. Every song. And I'm like, how Monique be saying, I love us. I'm like, they really hate us. As I'm thinking about the record label, I'm like, they really hate us. Like they really hate us. They take, this message and put it out there. I'm like, they really hate us. And so you have to think about this. And this is why I try to tell y'all, and until you could wrap your head around what I'm saying, you're going to keep losing. You're going to keep losing in relationships. Until you could wrap your head around what I'm saying, you're going to keep losing in relationships. Until you let a man's money be his currency. And this is what I mean. It does not mean his character. Forgive me when I said that. His money be his currency. Until you let a man's character be his currency, it does not mean that with character he could walk in the store and buy something. That with his character he could pay for the date. That with his character, he could pay his light bill. You see what I mean? Character ain't gonna pay that light bill. That's not what it means. What I mean by let a man's character be his currency is, as a woman, you have to look at his character and let that represent how much he is worth. That's what women going wrong. Young and old, young and older, unseasoned and seasoned, black, white, green, yellow, purple, across the board. Consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, women are judging men by their money and not by their character. And I really don't know how else to say it to you. You're gonna keep losing because no amount of money can buy character. But character will make a man any amount of money. What you have to realize is that when you have character as a man, you're on the straight and narrow road, not the broad road. You on the straight and narrow road. When you have character, you are running a marathon, not a sprint. You taking the long route. It's gonna take endurance. It's gonna take confidence. When you have character, you're doing things the right way. See, when God comes into a man's life, like I rededicated my life to God, to Christ in 2007. Everything did not become perfect for me when I rededicated my life to Christ. Like I just stopped having like real financial struggle a few years ago. Like, and when I say financial struggle, I mean being tight on money. Like even the money that I made, it wasn't more than I could spend. Even making good money. Now, I started earning six figures before the age of 30, but I still was going broke. I still could spend that amount of money, okay? Life still could cost me that amount of money and more. And everything wasn't peaches and cream just because I was a man of character. Because I became a man of character, like we still had to. In them first couple years, now from 2007 to 2011, I still was working for somebody else. And so, man, I had started working that job 2006. So even after rededicating my life, I still had to work a job making $9.50 an hour. And I was the only one working because my wife needed to be there for our son because, you know, he had illnesses, you know, being born 2.5 months early. So I was the sole breadwinner, you know. Now my wife refund checks that she got from college was more than what I made in a year on my job. But, you know, benefits of her being smart and academic scholarships and all that and track money, running track. Even though she wasn't running then, the coach still let her keep her scholarship because he liked her character. Show up on time or early, run hard, bust her butt. The little time that she did it, in a couple years she did it before the medical major really started to get super hard and intense and she couldn't do it anymore. The coach let her keep her scholarship. So here we was. I was a man of character. I'm a man of character. I had rededicated my life. I was living right, trying to do everything that I could to the best of my ability. But life didn't change overnight. And that's what you got to realize. See, a lot of times you'll see a man of character, but because he's in an apartment and he hasn't bought his house yet, you look down on him. But the man got his own roof that's over his head. Because he drive his work truck. The truck he drive is his work truck. And he don't have a second car. So if he gonna be driving to the date, y'all gonna be in the work truck. And so you look down on him. Because he ain't bought both. You know, because he doesn't wear designer clothes or designer watches, you'll look down on him. And you'll learn enough about a watch and labels and stuff to kind of look at a man. Oh, do you got a Louis Vuitton belt on? Is that a Gucci belt on? Oh, what kind of shoes those? Is those Red bottom tennis shoes he got on. Oh, okay. What kind of watch is that? Is that a Rolex? Is that a AP? Is that a this and that? So you learn a little bit enough about this stuff, and it becomes something that you can pick up on. But what you have to understand is the problem today is that women picking men based on their money. And money does not define a man. It does not tell you who that man is. And to be honest with you, typically, the more money a man gets, the worse he gets. If he did not have a foundation of real character and integrity before he came into that money. And so that's what you have to realize. That's why you see men who are self-made millionaires through whatever it may be. That's why you see a lot of them juggling women and doing what they do, because they got money before they got character. And so that money bought them more access. It bought them more influence. It bought them more power. It brought more women to them. And so the man with money, and when I say money, it's all relative. So if you live in Alabama, or Mississippi, where it's certain parts that the median income may be lower, then him making 100,000 might be a money man. Certain parts of Georgia or Florida, or, if you live in a certain city where the median income is lower, that's going to be different than Atlanta money, New York money, Los Angeles, or anywhere in California money. It's going to be different. So it's relative. What's a money man? Now, regardless of where you live, he may make enough money to where could live anywhere. So it's like, but I live in Florida, so example, the same kind of school that my son tuition may be 15,000 a school year. That same tuition would be, the same type of school would be 35,000 in California, would be 50,000 in New York. You see what I mean? So my money would not stretch as far. So when you look at this man in your city and he becomes not even top 1%, but top 5% in earnings, typically is where you get into. Once you get into them six figures, you go to get into the six figures. When you look at this man, you have to evaluate him and say, okay, what is good character? All right. Now understand with character that this means how you carry yourself in the dark. Your character, your integrity, they go hand in hand. So with good character, you have to ask yourself, is he doing anything that will harm himself or harm others? That's really what it comes down to. So you take every action that he does. You look at every action that he does, and you'll be able to see this in a 12-month period. You look at every action that he does, and you ask yourself, does this harm him, or can harm him, or someone else? So you come up and you look at the list of vices that you've seen with men. All right, let's say nasty movies. Boom, nasty movies. Most men may be into nasty movies. Porn. Now, what is the repercussions, the consequences of being into nasty movies? He's going to get addicted to them. He's going to not want to be intimate with you as much, or he's going to be comparing you to them. He's going to not care as much. He's going to not give as much effort. I was watching the thing, and I really hope it was fake. I really hope this thing was fake. But it was a video of, it looked like a company. It looked real to me. And it looked like a company. And they was on a Zoom meeting. And the man who had started the meeting, he was like, Yeah, can I get out of log out on this one since I'm not in this account? I'm not dealing with this account. And they were like, yeah, yeah, of course. And so he, hit a little button, looked like he went over to another screen. He clicked on his nasty movie. And he got up and he went and got some tissue, got some Kleenex, and got him some lotion, and came down, sat down there, got his lotion, unbuckled his pants. All the workers was like, whoa, Johnny, what are you doing? Johnny, oh, Johnny. He had muted the computer, the video. Johnny, what are you doing? Call him right now. The other men, they was like, I'm like, all these people right here can't act that good. Now, this had to be real. The man was at work, working from home, social distance, and needed to get him one off. Had to muted his Zoom and then clicked on his nasty movie and was finna go to work. You hear me? Go to another job, his other job. Go to work. They went to Harlan, and I say, man, please let that be fake. But I know if that one fake, it's another one out there that's real. And so, what the nasty movie gonna lead to? So a lot of times you may look at that and you say, oh, well, that's innocent. That's just him being a man. That's just men being men. Nope, that's not. That's him being an immature man. Because what a real man want to do, he want to get married, and then the woman that will be on the screen, that's his wife. Okay? He having his fun with his wife, not looking at no screen. That right there is a weakness. That's an insecurity. It's a problem. It's a ticking time bomb, okay? It's an issue going to blow up in your face. So, look at that. What's another one now? Angela. If he done lost control and Angela got to be every day. In order to stimulate Angela, it's coming from something. Either he looking at something on his phone, pictures or videos or something like that. All right, that's another red flag of low character. Does he drink? Okay, now does he get drunk? So he may drink. Jesus turned water into wine. So that was for a social event. And they was told to drink wine back then when they had a stomach ache or something like that, just because their wine was better than the water. Better for their stomach than the water. So, but it's even in the good book said, don't be a wine bibbler. No drunkard. Don't be drinking too much wine now, because it's altering the state of your mind and it's making you a drunk. So they had to drink in moderation. So when you sit down with this man and y'all at a dinner, and he turned by 4 of them, all right. Now, regardless of how big he is now, you turn back 4 of them, okay, you tiptoeing on a problem. Because you in public and you done turned back 4 of them. All right, okay, you better watch yourself. Now, it's men that'll turn back 6, 8 in one sitting. That is a red flag. Huge red flag, because that could turn into something, okay? Now, does he smoke? See, what the drink is doing is hurting him, but the drink could also hurt somebody else, depending on how it alters his mind. It could make him physical, aggressive with you. It could make him alters your judgment. First thing it alters, so you driving wrong side of the road every day. That's happening every day. So that's a red flag of low character. Now, when you look at, does he smoke? Is that, and you have to ask yourself, with everything that a man does, will it or can it hurt him or hurt others? So what is smoking going to do? It's going to blacken his lungs. It's going to corrode his esophagus. It's going to create an addiction. It's going to be in his pores. It's toxins that he's inhaling. Smoking, vaping, chewing tobacco, chewing dip, all this snuff. You know, we used to have snuff back in the day. All that same thing. Now, what's gonna happen with this? This means that he's cutting his life short. He's breaking down his body, because when you break down that esophagus and you break down them lungs, you exposing your body to infection, to cancer. You increasing your chances because you breaking down. Everything serves a function. You also altering the state of your mind. If you smoking something stronger than a cigarette, you altering the state of your mind, which could make you make bad choices or just start to become a different person, because when that mind is not altered to that new state, then you uneasy, you queasy, headache, stomach ache, or angst, and you snapping on people. And so I remember when my close homeboy, when we was growing up, he started smoking, and everybody kind of started dibbling, dabbling, smoking in ninth grade, around ninth grade, with Black and Miles. Used to be Black and Miles then, but guess what? Went from that Black and Miles to they went to the weed. I never smoked Black and Mild. I never smoked weed. Now, I sold it, but I didn't smoke it because I knew what it was gonna do on the inside. And I remember watching one of my homeboys, and he started smoking. He was smoking and drinking because that's what you do when you're trying to do music. He was trying to do music. So I go over to his house, go back there to his room, and he'll have him a big old bottle of Hennessy. Take that cap, open that cap. Then he'll smoke some weed, go outside and smoke some weed outside, and just was doing what he saw rappers do, producers do. Felt like he had to alter his state of his mind to be creative, to get in the zone. And when he didn't have that weed or smoke, he was a different person. Snappy, attitude, rude. I was like, wow, that's real interesting now. And I remember going to the club with him and one of my other homeboys, who was like my cousin, kind of distant cousin. And they'll smoke together. They'll sit there and they'll empty everything out that paper, and then they'll put that weed in there. I saw what they was doing. And now me, I had low character because I got in the streets on the other side. I never used nothing. So I became the supply, but they'll be doing that right there. And I go, all right, go ahead. All right, go ahead. Because I can leave these streets any day. I can leave these streets. This ain't no addiction out here. You be this fearful out here what I'm doing. But what y'all doing, you messing with the mind. Okay? You mess with your mind. You finna be addicted. So that's what I was telling myself. And I stayed away from it just personal reasons, because first I was an athlete, but then athletes smoked and did everything anyways. But then for me, is I saw the end result. I saw the worst case scenario with my aunts and uncles. I saw the worst case scenario of dealing with them gateway drugs. Not every man get to see that up close and personal. Like my homeboy, he didn't see that up close and personal with people that he know and love. You know, his aunts and uncles, they didn't have them issues, so he didn't get to see it. But me getting to see my aunts and uncles, you know, stumbling down the street, high as a kite, cussing people out, fighting all the time, getting beat up, you know, just going through, sleeping outside, getting kicked out of whoever they with, getting beat up by whoever they with, beating up whoever they with, just going to jail, out of jail, out of jail, just seeing all of that. I said, no, y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. And so, guess what? I went down the list, I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing these vices. Now, look at another one. Gambling. What is that going to do? It's eventually going to take everything he got. So it's going to hurt him, but it's going to hurt his wife, and it's going to hurt his kids. Because he gambling. Going to gamble away their college fund, going to gamble away the light bill money, the mortgage money, the rent money. All right. Sleeping around. What is that going to do? eventually gonna have children out of wedlock, illegitimate kids he cannot provide for, STDs, gonna be a lot of soul ties, a lot of broken hearts, and all of them things gonna come. Now you might be out there fornicating too, so you might not feel like you're in a position to judge them. But that's another thing you got to look at. That was one of my flaws. Right there, that was my main thing, sleeping around. But I wanted to be a one-woman man. That was my desire, to be a one-woman man so I could get out of sin. So I could get married and not have that sin. Because that was the one sin that I felt like as long as I wasn't married, I would continue to, create that sin. Live in that sin, be in that sin. So I wanted to be up out of that. So now, this is the thing. When you meet a man, he may not be dropped out of heaven. Okay, it don't mean the Lord just done sat up there and created him and just done sat him down in front of you. Excuse me, here's your husband, perfect and ready. That might not be the case. But what you gotta hear in his voice and what you gotta see in his actions and gotta come up in conversation is his desire to change. And not only his desire to change, but him taking the actions to change. Because if he wants to change something, if he admits that what he's doing is wrong or harmful or toxic or whatever it may be, if he admits that and he wants to change, then as a woman, you can be the influence, you can be the catalyst, you can be the accountability partner that helps him change. And so you got to see that there's some type of a change, but you also got to look at what type of offense it is now, because some people just too far gone and they just need the Lord. All right. They need prayer. Give them a bottle of olive oil, a Bible, and just pray for them without ceasing. And you just got to get out the way. Don't get in there thinking that you could be Mrs. Fix It and fix everything. All right. Be careful. Now, go down these vices and come all the way down. Come all the way down. Now, of course, using any other kind of drug, any kind of pill, pain pill, any kind of substance, all of that, same thing. You weigh it the same way. Come all the way down to just his day-to-day characteristics. Does he curse? All right. When does he curse? How often does he curse? What is he cursing about? What does it represent? Is it a precursor to violent behavior? Is it just normal conversation? Just shooting the breeze, foolishness, just the way he talks, but really has no bearing on how he acts. So you got to read into that, because you got some men that they're going to be cursing, but it's going to be disrespect. It's going to be to disrespect somebody. It's the way they talk down to a waiter, somebody on the street corner. They use it to verbally assault people. Then you got a guy who, when he go to cursing, he finna get physical. He finna move some furniture. He finna lay hands on something or somebody. Okay. Then you got a guy who he just use words. It's just S word, F word, but it doesn't change his energy. It doesn't make him a different person. So that's not as much, it doesn't have as much bearing on his life. So you got to evaluate these things like that. Just like somebody having a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine, and it doesn't change their speech. It doesn't change their mind. None of that. It doesn't change it in a noticeable way. That could be seen as social drinking versus somebody who they just boom, 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 boom. Even if one make their speech start to change or their actions start to change, that's one too many. That means they're not built for alcohol. So, but if 2 or 3, now once you go to 3 and 4, unless it's like no alcohol in that drink, like little or no alcohol, it's still gonna be a problem. But what I'm saying is, with each thing, you gotta look at it, kind of gotta read it. And so you meet a man and he's in chemotherapy or something, to do with cancer or glaucoma, and he's smoking marijuana, and it's doctor prescribed, it's medicinal. Now that's, you look at that differently than someone just doing it as a hobby, recreational, just doing it for their own personal situation, and they need it and depend on it for that, but they don't have a medical issue that is treating or addressing. And I don't even understand all the science in that, if it's truly medicinal for anything, or if they just found somewhere to put it just because people want to use it so bad. But, what have you. And so you got to look at this. And this is what I mean by allowing a man's character to be his currency. So for everything that a man does right, that's money in the bank. Because this is what you have to understand, is that if a man has character, that means that he has focus. That means he has discipline. He has self-love. So what that means is, when he is on that job, think about this on a job. If one man coming in late, he got drunk and high the night before, then go to sleep at 3 a.m., got to be to work at 7, but went 3 a.m. His body was so knocked out because he had so much alcohol in him, it made him pass out. He slept 5 hours without even blinking, without even rolling. So he slept 3 to 8, supposed to be to work at 7. But see, everything affects everything. But the man with character, the man who's not getting drunk, who's not smoking, who not into the nasty movies, boom, he was in the bed 10:30, 11 o'clock. Boom, up. 6 o'clock, dressing ready, brush your teeth, clothes on, out the house 6:30, boom, at the job, clocking in 7 o'clock. He doing that every single day, because everything affects everything. So the man who getting drunk, the man who getting high, the man who up 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning because he had to wait for you to fall asleep so he could get on his nasty movie in the bathroom pretending his stomach hurt, but really in there he with a headache with Angela because he needed to get on that nasty movie. So now, time to wake up 5 a.m., 6 a.m., he too tired. You see what I mean? Same thing if he was at the casino trying to win his money back. To went in there with $1,000, boom, turned it into $2,000, kept on going thinking he got the hot hand, went down to 200. Now he trying to get back up to at least 1,000. So he in there, boom, don't walk away with nothing. Then lost a whole $1,000. Now y'all rent due, or your mortgage due, but he just lost 1,000. He lost the money in the casino. So now what he got to do? Take the last $5 in his pocket, go buy him something to drink. Then come home, drink him some more. He angry, he upset, just lost the rent money. Know he finna hear it from you. So now he got to sit at the house and finish the rest of his Hennessy bottle. So now he passed out, same thing. Got to go to work tomorrow. But listen, this is why I need you to understand, everything affects everything. So got to go to work tomorrow. But because he angry from losing y'all rent money yesterday, then he got a hangover. That means he wakes up, he's tired, and he has a headache, and he's angry. So when you tired, headache, and angry, how are you going to talk to your boss? How you going to talk to your coworkers? You see what I mean? So now he at work starting trouble. What you looking at? You need to stop looking at me. And they're like, whoa, buddy, what's going on, man? I was looking at you because I was walking up to you getting ready to say, hey, like, what? Why you going on? Hey, don't worry about it. Get on my nerve. Then he calling you, and you ready to go down to EEOC because you think they discriminating at the job. So he go through this for a month or 2, 3 months, dealing with whatever vices he got, whether it's drinking or the nasty move or whatever. He's just waking up grumpy, tired, headache, angry, because everything affects everything. So now he get laid off on the job. But come telling you it was discrimination, telling you it was this, it was that. So now you feeling sorry for him, and now he's saying he applying for jobs everywhere. He going out, he ain't applying for nobody's job. Or he applying for job, but he going, but because he got these vices, he going in the interview and he's sabotaging the interview with his attitude, with his nasty attitude, because he ain't sleeping right, he ain't eating right, he ain't living right. So he getting the attitude, and the supervisor like, I definitely ain't hiring this man. So now you thinking the job market is terrible, thinking he can't get no job, but really it's all his mindset. So now you footing the bills, you paying all the bills. Why? Because you picked a tall man that you thought was tall and fine, but he had low character. He had good money, was making six figures when you met him. But because he had low character, he done lost it. He done lost it because of the gambling, the nasty movies, the drinking, the smoking, whatever it may be. He done lost it. Because you were looking at the fact that he was driving a nice S-Class Benz, had on a nice Rolex, and was taking you out to the finest restaurant, 5-star restaurant. You eating filet mignon, asparagus, lobster tail. You in there living lavish, having you some drinks, mojitos, and you just feeling so good. But you took it lightly that after y'all finish, he want to get high with you, get drunk with you, go to the casino till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You took that lightly because he had money. Looked it stable, looked it good. A few years later, done lost it all and don't know how to get it back. Why? Because you didn't let his character be his currency. You let his money be his currency and you ignored his low character, low integrity, poor integrity. So you can have rich integrity, you can have poor integrity. You can have rich character or you have poor character. And that's how you got to look at a man and see what I need you to understand. And this the one part right here that women not understanding. This the one part you're not understanding when I'm talking about make sure the man you choose have character. Now, yes, if you can find a man who has character and money, obviously that would be great. Obviously, that's obvious. Okay, that's common sense. And that's what a lot of women, oh my God. Well, I want a man with both. Listen, you got nobody. Okay, beggars can't be choosers now. It ain't like these men growing on trees out here. So you're going to have to work with something. Okay, you're going to have to start somewhere. Oh, I refuse to settle. Listen, you're going to be single all your life. Okay, you waiting on Mr. Perfect because guess what? You're not perfect. There's some things on you need to work. You need to work on. Some things you need to work on. So you're not the only woman he choosing from. So while you waiting on Mr. Perfect, guess what? He got a line of women. You hear me? He got women wrapped around the block in line from him. He get to pick his wife. So many women want him. Okay? If he have character and money, it's very rare you're going to find a single, ready, mentally stable man who has money and high character. That's it's rare because of the world we live in, because it's the music and the television that's raising us today, that's influencing us, and it's so toxic and it's so bad. It's rare that you're gonna find a man that's got a 3-bed 2-bath house, got a work vehicle, own his own company, got a play vehicle, luxury vehicle, and is a man of God, is abstinent, don't get drunk, don't curse, don't smoke, don't watch nasty movies. Where he at? Where he at? Since he growing on trees like leaves, where he at? Where he at? You might know one. You might know one, and you think about every man you know. What man you know that is in your age range, okay? I ain't talking about no man that been lived 2 lifetimes, all right? I'm talking about a man under the age of 50. Don't get drunk. Don't curse like a sailor. Don't smoke. Love the Lord. Got a good job, steady income, whether it's his company or somebody else's company. got her own house, own car, and is easy to look at. You think he attractive. Where he at? Where he at? Listen to me. You might know one man. Do he got kids? Probably. Is he a divorcee? Probably. Okay, I'm talking about never married, no kids. Okay, Mr. Perfect that y'all claim y'all be waiting on. And so, listen to me. You're gonna have to work with some. You're gonna have to you gonna have to sacrifice somewhere. Because ain't no perfect people. Just like you ain't perfect. Just like you ain't perfect. And so a lot of times women could go and get these things. Now, that's the crazy thing is I know women that's like that. But men and women different. Men and women, like, women are much more knowledgeable and responsible. And see, this is the thing. It's not that it's something just so wrong with men, but you got to look at the difference in the beings, in the two beings. Like, go look at a little girl room and look at a little boy room. You know, look at how a little girl do her homework and organize her schoolwork, and look at how the little boy do his. Look at how the little girl, prepare herself when she shower and brush her teeth and all of that and do her hair, and look at what the little boy do. Like, when you go back and just look at the beings, you'll see that a little girl left to herself still may go shower. A little boy left to himself, you got to wrap him up with a rope and drag him to the shower. You hear me? You got to stand there and watch him with your hand on your hip. Watch him brush his teeth in the morning and at night. You see what I mean? And now, there's some girls like that too now that have junky rooms and don't want to bathe. But think about this. So when you look at the adult version and you say, well, I'm a woman and I got my own house, my own car, steady income. I don't smoke. I drink socially, but I don't get drunk. I may curse if I get angry. Somebody cut me off in traffic, but I don't curse like no sailor. I'm not filthy mouth now. I say a little word here and there, but I ain't filthy mouth. I'm not addicted to no nasty movies. So if I'm all of this, why isn't there a man that's all of this? Why do I have to settle for a man who's not living the same way I'm living on the same exact level that I'm on? Why do I have to settle? You two different beings. The world has treated you two totally different ways. Men come up in another way than women come up. So that man may be battling with other issues, other things that's going on that he doesn't have the wherewithal to process alone. That's why a woman is so important in a man's life. That's why God showed us the imagery of Adam and Eve. And some people say it ain't no real story or whatever, say what you want to say. You hear me? That means something. And so that's why God showed us Adam, like, oh Lord, this man over here. I got to make this man a woman. This man over here, look at what this man doing. He's rolling in the dirt. Sticking his thing in the dirt. Oh my goodness. He done buried his legs in the dirt. Gabriel, Michael the Archangel, come here. Look at what Adam doing. All right, listen, I'm finna knock across the head and go on get the real about That's what the Lord. So that's why the Lord showed us that. Is He said, listen, man by himself is not gonna cut it. He need a helpmeet. That's what the Bible calls it, a helpmeet. Meaning he needs somebody by his side. This man needs somebody. And listen to me. Nearly every man in the world needs somebody. Need a woman. Nearly every man in the world. When I say nearly every man in the world, you're going to see one or two guys who they do everything on their own. They don't need no woman for nothing. And they appear to be completely happy. They skeletons in the closet. There's skeletons in the closet. I'm just tell you that right now. Skeletons in the closet. Trust me. God don't make no mistakes. A man needs a woman. A man needs a one point blank period. So this is what I need you to understand. is when I say let a man's character be his currency, what I mean is when you meet this man, he might not be where you want him to be financially, but he's going to be where you want him to be spiritually, where you need him to be spiritually and emotionally. So he might not be making 100,000. He might be at 30,000 because he's a school teacher. 40,000 because he's a school teacher or a police officer, or he runs a foundation, a nonprofit organization that helps children who have been taken advantage of by their parents, helps them have a foster home, helps them make sure they get their education. He gets donations and he gets federal grants, but it's only to the tune of $100,000 a year. To be fair and to be in right standing with the legalities and the authorities, he can't pay himself as the executive director more than $40,000 a year. $40,000 is not going to give you no laid in the shade, lush plush lifestyle. But this man has character. He has integrity, and he's building. 5 years with you, helping him out, doing what you do, inspiring him, letting him see how you grind, how you work, how you consistent on your job, and then you dropping ideas, helping him think outside of the box. You bring your mind, the woman's mind, to what he doing, even though you may not have to work full time with him. Now you done shown him other things. Boom. Now he done doubled, he done tripled. Now in 3 years, his 40K a year is 120,000 a year. And that's why I need y'all to understand that when a man has character, he's going to have ambition. But that doesn't necessarily equate to money right then. And that's what you got to realize. And so what you have to understand as a woman is you play a role in that man's life. Just like he will bring stability and peace and love to your life, you bring something to the table as well. So you're bringing stability, peace, and love. And inside of those things, we have inspiration, motivation, encouragement, affirmation. Inside of that peace, love, and stability, we have these other intangibles that we bring to the table. So just like a woman can feel complete when she has a husband who is loving her, respecting her, faithful to her, and then they start a family, whether y'all raising y'all dogs and y'all cats, or whether y'all adopt children, or whether y'all have children, it don't matter. Or whether y'all just say it's gonna be us two. But just how a woman feels complete and feels whole when she has the love of her life, the same thing with that man. And what you as women have to understand, what you as a woman have to understand, is that your role cannot be negated. You can't look at this man and expect his life to be perfect and all the way up and going when and take away the fact that you play a major role in his success, that your stability, your presence, your knowledge, your energy, your prayers, your grace, your favor, that you play a major role in his life. So when you look at this man, you ought to see a missing puzzle piece. If he done put the whole puzzle together, then he doesn't need you. And you may look at your life and say, well, I got a house, I got a car, I got a job, I got a savings, I got 401k, I got this and that. But see, that's not your puzzle. That's what the world gave you. But that's not your complete puzzle, because that's why you desire marriage. You're desiring marriage because you know that you have a missing puzzle piece, and that's your marriage. So this man is going to bring that masculine energy, that love, that stability. Even on from the outside looking in, now you look more stable to your friends and your family, And you want that too. Now, yeah, you may say, I don't care about what other people think, but you lying. You do care about what other people think, but it's also what you think. You don't want to grow older and be alone your whole life. You want love. So you're not, perfect. When I say complete, we ought to be complete in the sense of being whole spiritually and emotionally, and the person we get with compliments us. We shouldn't be, void and empty, because then we will just deplete the person we get with. So you should be in a good place to where you're not going to tear somebody else down. So understand this. As a woman, you're not perfect. He's bringing something that's intangible. See, his presence, just his heartbeat, being able to lay your head on his chest, him being able to, massage your scalp, massage your feet, him being able to walk beside you. He represents security, protection, completion. He represents all of those things, even if he doesn't have a dime in his pocket. That's why a lot of women got a man who don't got a dime and doesn't have character either, but want the man just for that masculine presence and masculine energy and for what his body can do. You hear me? Okay. And so a lot of women go that route. But no, you didn't have to do that, because the broke man that you taking care of with no character, you could have waited just one season more, and you would have met a man who on the same financial level but got all kind of character. He might be on a mission treatment. No, what you call that? Missions trip. He might be serving right now. He might be interning right now, trying to get the knowledge, working on, he getting the knowledge. So he might be touching 20, 30K right now, 30K, 40K. But he got character. He got ambition. He has integrity. Listen, that's what you got to look for. That's what you got to look for. And so women say, well, Tony, if he got all that character, ain't he going to have money? Yeah, eventually, but he might not have it when you meet him. He might not have it when you meet him, but he eventually gonna have it, and it might take you to activate it. God might not. See, that's the thing. Women are the activators to men. You remember when you put that kid in your head? I used to put that kid in my head. Put that kid in your head, have it be dry. It be soft, but it be dry. It be laying down. You got to get that bottle. Shake it up, spray that S-curl activator in there, rub it in there. Whoo! How come the light? Get the little curls, got a little volume, got a little shine. It's wet now. It's running down your neck now. But hey, it's that activator. That's what a woman is to a man's life. You the activator. You what's gonna make everything come together. You gonna bring the volume. You gonna bring the moisture. You the activator. So that's what you got to realize. His life is devoid without you. His life is missing something without you. So this is the thing. If God loved his son, God might not even authorize him to go into 6 figures and 7 figures without his wife, because God may see that money will destroy him. That if he's single without accountability, that him making 6 figures, 7 figures, or high 6 figures could lead him to drinking, the drugs, the random strange women, and that because his heart is pure. See, that's what you got to understand. Because his heart is pure, if he comes into his glory, his greatness, meaning if he comes into all his fullness as far as money is concerned, it's going to be so many Jezebel spirits coming after him. And because he knows nothing really about women and how to read women, he's going to fall prey to a gold digging woman who is only there for his money. And she's going to devour him. She trying to get in good, to get in his will, to become the beneficiary for his life insurance, for all his accounts, the cut his family out of the picture. and she trying to help him die faster. Oh, you want to drink? She getting him into drinking. She getting him into smoking. She getting him into pill. She getting him into more fried chicken. She getting him into all of this because she want him to go ahead and kick the bucket so she could just live lavish on her own, sleep around with her mandingos and splackavellis, doing what she want to do. It's a lot of women like that out there today. It's a lot of women out there like that today, that your husband end up getting deceived by, because when you met him, you were judging him by his money instead of looking at his character. Instead of looking at his character and assuming your rightful position, and y'all becoming a power couple because you the activator and catalyst to his life, and he's the activator and catalyst to your life, because he gonna bring you some peace and some joy and some happiness. It's gonna make you thrive. You're gonna go to thrive, and your business gonna go up, or you're gonna start your business, or you're gonna climb the ranks faster in your job because your joy, your levels is higher. You operating from a better place. So see, he adding to you too. You looking at, oh, do he make $75,000 a year? No, he at 35. But what he brings to the table is priceless. And understand now, priceless don't mean useless. Priceless mean you can't put a dollar amount on what he bringing to the table. It's beyond numbers what he bringing to the table, and vice versa. And that's what you have to understand about love and about relationships. And now when y'all get together, guess what? You gotta learn how to work together before God pour out on y'all marriage. So me and my wife, we were together for, I don't know, 8 years before we really started to come into a new season, of just blessings on blessings. It was 8 years because we had to show ourselves worthy. We had to show ourselves approved, that we can love one another, respect one another, be faithful to one another. We had to get all the dirt out the way. So look, them first 2 years was hard. It was some lies. It was some distrust, some mistreatment in them first 2 years of marriage. Had God poured out then, it would have destroyed us. But we had to work through that. We had to go through having an apartment with no furniture in the living room. Just having a bed in the whole 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Just having a bed. We had to go from paying $200 a month rent to paying $1,600 a month rent. We had to grow. We had to climb. We had to show ourselves worthy to receive. That we can work together. That we can trust in God. That we can walk by faith. And that we can love and be faithful. Be honest. Be trustworthy. Giving and forgiving. And when we showed ourselves worthy, and we have been consistent and diligent in our walk, then God poured out into our life. Then the floodgates of blessings, the windows of heaven opened. Then we was blessed. And then we had to still then learn and grow, make mistakes in our money management and parental guidance, and learn and show ourselves worthy and get the lessons from that level before a whole nother level of blessings was opened up. So that's what I need you to understand, is that you're going to grow together. You're not coming in perfect. No, you're going to grow. You're going to learn together, heal together. And both of you going to be treating one another with love and respect. It's the intangibles. It's the character, the integrity, the heart, the passion, the love, the joy, the spirit. It's not the money and the cars and the houses and the condos and the things. It's not that. It's the intangibles, the things that money cannot buy. That's what you got to be looking for, and know that if you got that, you're eventually going to be able to buy anything that money can afford. Hey, this is Tony Gaston. God bless you. Hope that makes sense for you. We'll talk soon.